My people, my Biafran people, how on a day? I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending from where you're listening to the sound of my voice. This is the Biafra Superstars Media, and I'm holding it down. I say may God bless Biafra, and may God bless His Excellency Oyendo Mazenam Kano. May God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless, may God bless His Excellency, the Prime Minister of Biafra, USB, His Excellency ESN Ekpa, Simon and Joko, for the job Simon is doing. Simon, I want to say we thank you. We appreciate you. We love you because we know in your hands Biafra has come. In your hands Biafra will be safe. And in your hands, now that Biafra has come, the people of Biafra will rejoice. When I say the people, I mean the men, the women, the children, the old, the young, the sick, the mild, the gentle, the civilized and the uncivilized. Those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. I repeat, those born in Biafra and those born in the bite of Biafra. We shall all come together under one voice, under one accord, under one union, under one government, and under one God, to scream for Hallelujah Day, the day that the God of Biafra has made. Fellow Biafrans, today is a day. Today, Friday 30th of May 2025. A day that the Biafrans normally enjoy and celebrate our heroes past. That same day is a day that Finland has chosen to start the trial of Simon Ekpa, His Excellency. Fellow Biafrans, I've taken my time to go through the whole information online. I've seen videos, I've watched interviews. I've gone to the media houses of Finland. I've done translation of the news and whatever they have in their tabloid. Fellow Biafrans, I want you to know that Nigeria has no case against Simon Ekpa. What they're just doing is more like a shenanigans to please or appease Nigeria. Finland is trying to rub shoulders with the world. Finland is trying to come and introduce their agency to work with Nigeria. And Finland is doing what they are doing to Simon Ekpa, just to please Nigeria. So today we are glad that the legal team of Simon Ekpa, His Excellency, has come out to say that his client, Simon Ekpa, has no case to answer. Because all what he was doing was freedom fighting to protect and defend his people that gave him the mandate. All Simon Ekpa was doing from Finland was to listen to the yearnings, the cry of his people. Those that gave him the assignments to defend himself and those that asked him to lead on their behalf. But also the prosecutor from Finland, his name is Samsa Makala. That's his name, the prosecutor. In today's event in court, he said he's got evidence from Nigeria, although it is hard for him to validate those evidence of what Simon Ekpa is doing, the atrocities Simon Ekpa is doing in Nigeria from Finland. But he said, for the fact is in faraway Africa, it is hard to get those first-hand evidence. Last time I checked, I thought the so-called Southeast politicians, the so-called governors, they were queuing up to give evidence to Finland. Last time I checked, I thought the case of Simon Ekpa is between Simon Ekpa, the Biafrans, and Nigeria. But today, from the statement we're getting, it is clear it is between the so-called Southeast, the stakeholders from the Southeast, those that allowed Nigeria to use them against their brother Simon Ekpa. Fellow Biafrans, To an extent, I feel happy that for the first time, our leader, Simon Ekpa, is able to showcase, shine a light on Biafra, the plight of the Biafrans against Nigeria in the international court. For the first time, they've been forced, compelled to speak about Biafra. Because for far too long, we've cried all across the whole different organizations around the whole world, from ICC, UN, even to the EU. But they keep on pretending not to know what is happening in Biafra land. So in one hand, I am glad that the man who is able to do this for us is Obatobi himself. Now the world is compelled to speak about Biafra and our plight in Nigeria. But on the other hand, I ask myself, are the Biafrans really cost? Are we a cost people? If I should zero it down to the Igbos, those they claim the so-called Southeast, are we a cost people? That at a time like this, where we see what is happening all across Nigeria, Benue is almost gone, Plateau is almost gone, lands taken, stolen from them. Yoruba land, Ondo, Oyo, Ogun, look at what's happening there. Oshun, there's a Sharia law taking place there as we speak. All across Nigeria today as we speak, we see what is happening, the activities, the events unfolding before our eyes by the so-called Fulanikila headsmen. But yet, at the same time, it's a time when we are betraying our own. We are betraying those who have come out to stop the madness, the mayhem, the carnage coming to the land of Biafra. Today of all time, when you have the likes of ISIS, ISWAP, Lakurawa, and the rest of them, terrorists, the Fulani headsmen and killer headsmen and the rest of them, terrorists all across Nigeria, ravaging and doing what they are doing, kidnapping, taking loans, going to police stations, killing, burning everywhere, taking their arms and the rest of them. At the same time, the only two people being charged with terrorism are Nnamdi Kanu and Simon Ekpa. In the case of Nnamdi Kanu, we knew what happened. It started again by whom? The so-called Southeast politicians. The governors came out. We saw the video where they proscribed their own. At a time, during that time, the gospel was they are coming, they are coming, they are coming. The advent of the Fulani killer headsmen, Boko Haram, ISIS, and the rest of them. Oyendo came and with the prophetic statement, he said, they are coming, they are coming, they are coming. I need arms to protect my people. But instead, again, the so-called Igbo politicians from the Southeast were the ones that came out in the public to proscribe IPOB. This gave Nigeria the leverage to tag 80 million Biafrans as terrorists. But when you look through the spectrum of that so-called Nigeria, across the north, you see what's happening in the middle belt. No northern governor has come out to call for the proscription of the Fulani killer headsmen, ISIS, Boko Haram, Lakurawa, and the rest of them. In fact, they said when they saw them, they were friendly. When they saw Lakurawa, they appeared to be friendly. These are the words coming from your so-called military men. People like Musa and the rest of them, the one they call the CDF, the CDS, the chief, the defense staff. He said, and I quote, when they first spotted Lakurawa in Nigeria, in the north, they felt they were friendly. They were friendly. They saw a terrorist and they assumed or they presumed that terrorists were friendly. They were nice, gentle. They were eating with them. They were doing their prayers, their Friday prayer, their Juma with them. And they assume they were friends of the caliphate. Perhaps they are standby soldiers that will be ready to carry out the jihad that is forthcoming in Nigeria. That's the language from the north. The stakeholders from the north, none of them has come out to condemn their own. None of them have come out to take theirs to the UN, ICC, EU, and the rest of them. So I ask myself, are the Biafrans cursed as a people? Or to be more specific and frank, is the Igbo race a cursed race? Are we a cursed people? Is the land cursed that nothing good can come out from that land? That when a savior comes out, the same people will be the ones who sabotage him. I asked again, are the people of Biafra cursed? Because what is going on right now, it is beyond my wildest dream, beyond my imagination. That at a time when insecurity is at an all-time high, we know the people doing it. We know the strangers, the interlopers, the intruders doing it in Nigeria. We know their tribe. We know their makeup. We know their religion. We know their intention for doing it. We know the gospel they are following, the school of thought they are following, the one called Usman and Fodio, who told them to dip the Quran in the Red Sea. As far as they can go, the land belongs to them. We know their philosophy. We know why they are doing what they are doing. But today, when the Christian soldiers catch these terrorists, they've been told not to kill them. Catch them, bring them to us, and within 2 to 6 weeks, your Nigerian government will come out and say, those terrorists, they are now repented. They are now born again. They've turned from their evil ways. And suddenly, they are being reintegrated into your army, your police, your navy, your customs, and the rest. At a time like this, when you know what is happening in the Middle Belt and the rest, the place where you find the army, the checkpoints, it's in Biafra land. So I ask myself, what's really going on? What kind of fight are we fighting? Who are we fighting for? Who are we fighting for? Because seeing my leader this way, Obatobi, you can tell the pain, the anger, the frustration that he's going through. That Finland, a country that should be just, a country that is number one when it comes to respecting the rule of law, upholding the rule of law, a country who is a champion of the so-called Equality Act of 2010 that says the right of every human being must be respected. That in most cases nobody is disabled. It is, the level of interference, the challenges that they go through. So you must create the enabling environment to make disability to become an ability. In Finland, you get things like this. They are champions of this. They've gotten the accolades, the awards. But today, when it comes to a black man who is a black Finnish, Alexander Stubb has chosen to throw Simon Ekpa under the bus because he's a black man. He's using this man's life for a bargain. Oil and gas. To send down the agency of Finland to Nigeria to get the crumbs from the table. To get deals and contracts. Today, they were discussing about 6.5 years to give Simon Ekpa. The very first day in court, the prosecuting team were discussing about Simon Ekpa being a terrorist, and they are looking at a minimum of 6 years. 6.5 years in jail. The prosecutor being led by the one they call Samsa Makala. That's the name. I believe a man like this might have the evidence that Simon Ekpa has done no wrong, but he's doing a job. This is what he's being paid for. But we thank God when they asked him in court, do you have the evidence that this man has done all the things you said he did? All the way from Finland, he said they cannot prove it because the activities appear to have happened in Africa. But they believe that Simon Ekpa is the one funding all the terrorism happening in the southeast. Fellow Biafrans, at a time like this, I want everyone to come together. We must stay strong. This nonsense, this in-house fighting have to end. I remember our leader Nnamdi said, if you know what you can do to bring Biafra, do it. Don't wait for him. If you can bring Biafra much faster, you do it. You don't have to wait to join his movement. Whatever you can do to bring Biafra, you do it. So I'm calling on those. I'm calling on the two elephants in the room, causing this misunderstanding. Those that say they believe in Brigi, I'm calling on you guys again. Ogen Kiri and the likes. I'm calling upon you guys to be disciplined. We've told you we are not stopping you from doing your Brigi. Keep on doing your job. Then when Obatobia is free, he'll be the one to judge. He'll be the one to separate the goose from the gander. He'll be the one to separate the chaff from the wheat. We've heard him say that he works with different people on a particular task. He might give 2-3 people the same task to do without them knowing that they were assigned the same task. So why this in-house fighting? Why this calling of names? Why can't you focus on the job given to you by Obatobie? Why are you attacking Dr. Ngozi Orawueze? If you believe that what you are doing is right, we have told you, keep on doing what you are doing. Nobody is stopping you. We have not stopped your fund raising. We have not called the banks to report your bank accounts. But on the other side, we see what you guys are doing to Dr. Ngozi Orawueze and the cabinet, the USB cabinet. If you're for Simon Ekpa, if you love Simon Ekpa, you will know that there is a job to do. In fact, you should be so busy dealing with the job at hand and ignore the distractions coming from the other side. If genuinely you are there for Simon Ekpa and Biafra, if you believe that Obatobe gave you a task to deal with, then why are you wasting your time trying to fight the other camp? Do what you have to do to get us Biafra and allow us in the USB to do what we have to do. Because we know that Dr. Ngozi Orawueze was the one that was given the mandate to protect the mandate. We know Obatobe made her the surrogate. So all this in-house fighting, I say enough of it. It is time for us to get into business because the enemies have come. Nigeria is not playing. Nigeria is ready to waste the revenue of the Biafran oil to have their ways. They don't care about how much they waste because they know the resources do not belong to them. So they will take the money from Biafra land, spend it on whoever they want to. They will waste the money. They will pay Finland whatever they want to keep Simon Ekpa somewhere, to lock him up. because they know deep inside the money they are spending is the Biafran money. Fellow Biafrans, I'll leave it here. Today is the first day. I'm still trying to, wrap my head around this, but hopefully tomorrow I will be back to go into more of an in-depth analysis. Today I'm still sad, I'm still in shock, I'm still angry in my spirit, seeing my leader this way, Obatobi by himself. I'm not happy about this because this man has done nothing wrong. If you say he's guilty, then Alexander Stubb is also guilty because he is speaking for the freedom, the liberation of Ukraine. So what is wrong? In our own case, we are speaking for our own freedom. But in the case of Alexander Stubb, the president of Finland, he is speaking for the liberation of another country. But we are speaking for the liberation of Biafra, our own land, our motherland. We are speaking for our liberation. We want to defend our land from the terrorists, the Muslims, the Islamists coming to create jihad in the land of Biafra. So who is guilty? One is speaking about his own people. The other one is advocating for another country. But like they say, when money is involved, when the dollars is involved, the greenback, when it's involved, when there is contract to be won, those you call your friend in the Western world, they will let you down. For the past 10 years, you've seen how friendly Simon Ekpa and Alexander Stubb has been. In every campaign, they take pictures together, they drink tea, they campaign together vigorously. When he won as the president of Finland, Simon Ekpa was there to celebrate with him. But today, under his watch, his so-called bosom friend, his bosom friend Simon Ekpa is being charged with terrorism under his watch. I gave you the analogy of how they envy you, or they envy the black man. When they think you are a nobody, they love you, they show empathy, they support you. But the moment you are doing very well, at a level that compares to them, now envy, jealousy, and hatred steps in. I won't blame them because Nigeria gave them an offer they could not refuse. I understand the psychology of a white man. In one hand, you think they're your friend. No, what they are doing is just business. It's a transaction in the Western world. No real friends. Even in your workplace, I'm warning you guys now, in your workplace in the Western world, those guys who are working with you, they are not your friend. They are your colleagues. They are not your friend. The other day, a Yoruba man told me he was angry with a colleague of his that in the office they chat every day, but then he went to the grocery store and saw his colleague in that same store. So he came out to say, hello, how are you? Good morning, happy weekend. And that person looked at him, walked away. The white man didn't say hi to the Yoruba man, and he felt bad about it. He took the anger to the workplace. And in the morning of that Monday, when he saw the same person who ignored him at the grocery store, the white man came to smile, shook his hand, but he refused to shake the hand of the white man. Said, how come you ignored me over the weekend? When he told me the story, I told him, look, in the Western world, they are not your friend. In your workplace, they are not your friend. They are your colleagues. There is a contract that binds you and them in that office. 9 to 5 or whatever. After that, don't assume that they are your friend if you see them somewhere in the public. So I understand, the psychology. Sometimes we make that mistake because in our culture, when someone is nice to you and open to you, you assume that person is your friend in the Biafran culture. But it's a contrast. In the Western world, it is different. They smile with you. They laugh with you. On a Friday, you all go out to drink together. You eat together. You go on a buffet, have meals together. Someone's birthday, you all go out for a drink and a food and feasting. But that doesn't mean they're your friend. They are just your working colleagues. For them, it's all about a transaction and a business. So perhaps Obatobe may have assumed that Alexander Stubb was a real friend, but today it is clear that Alexander Stubb was never a friend of His Excellency Mazi Simon Ekpa. He saw him as a vehicle to use to make billions for Finland. Lord have mercy. Very, very sad. Fellow Biafrans, I'll leave it here. My heart is heavy. I'm in a very, very bad mood. Seeing my leader this way by himself. I can tell how he feels in his heart. And I'm feeling that way too. I can tell the fire in his heart. I can tell the anger in him. But for now, I'll leave it here. And hopefully, tomorrow I'll be able to do more in-depth analysis on the first court hearing of our leader, His Excellency Mazi Simon Ekpa. Thank you all. May God bless you. And may God bless Biafra.
Biafra must be restored, for there is nothing the enemies can do about it. You brought Biafra that light may come into Africa. You gave us hope because we are in a continent of hopelessness. And by thy grace, Biafra shall be restored. We shall be resurrected. We shall crown our efforts with the glory by the grace of the Most High Himself. We are not strong. We do not pretend to be strong. All we do is to submit ourselves to your will, that your will may be done upon our lives. We have lost many people. We have lost so many good people. Their sacrifice will never be forgotten. We shall honor them, and for their sake, Biafra will come. Because we are wandering all over the world, hoping against every hope that things will turn around for the better. It has never turned around for the better. Instead, it is getting worse. Please do not abandon your children. You have given us a commission, and we must accomplish it in our lifetime. Our enemies are equally important because they must listen. Those who do not love the truth must listen. Those who are beholden to darkness, they must also listen. For we are here to bring light upon a very darkened continent without Biafra. Africa is nothing without Biafra. There is no difference between a black man and a wild animal in the forest. We say every shred with every ounce of conviction. I welcome each and every one of you. If you're joining us for the very first time, this is Radio Biafra. This is how we do it. We magnify the name of the Most High before we do anything. That is why we are exceptionally formidable. That is why